When the war is over, gas will fall down at levels that you've never seen before. You'll be down to where you were, maybe even lower. And we have tremendous amounts of oil. We are not suffering oil. We have hundreds of ships coming up to Texas, coming up to Louisiana, coming to Alaska, filling up, and they're going back and making a lot of money.
President Trump is optimistic that we'll see lower gas prices. Amen. But right now, the national average of gas prices is now up 37 cents a gallon over the past month. But in California, well, it's even worse. Gas is over $6 a gallon thanks to the state's policies, against fossil fuels.
California charges such a high tax on the gasoline. California was the third largest area for oil. California is like an oil, it's rich with oil. But stupidly, 15, 16, 17 years ago, people stopped drilling. It was third to Texas and another state, probably Oklahoma.
Well, meanwhile, the war is squeezing Iran's economy. New images show oil oozing into the waters around one of Iran's largest energy production hubs. Joining us now to discuss all this and more is EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin. Administrator, I want to ask you what the question that so many Americans have at home right now, because they hear the president say, once this is all over, gas prices are going to go down. In fact, we might even be in a better position because we're going to be, maybe the world's looking to us for more oil production, and maybe we'll finally resolve this issue with Middle Eastern oil once and for all. What can they look forward to, not only later this summer, but heading into the fall, the winter? What do you project for those Americans who are a little concerned right now when they fill up?
I would point to a recent trip that I made to Tokyo, the White House National Energy Dominance Council. I was with Secretary Berger and other leaders of the Trump administration. And it was a meeting amongst 17 leaders of the Indo-Pacific nations, a lot of U.S. companies, and the energy ministers from a lot of these other countries. They are seeing what is happening in the Middle East, and they desire to diversify their energy sources like never before. You take a country like Japan, where it takes them 28 days to get their supply from the Middle East, and they haven't had freedom of navigation. And then they look to the United States, where they have been getting supplies for a very long time. It only takes 8 days to get to Japan, and there's always been total freedom of navigation. A lot of these countries, if you want to start talking midterm, long-term vision into the future, this is going to be a very good thing. Unleashing energy dominance is not just about ramping up a domestic supply here at home for Americans, but also being in a stronger position to be able to export to these other countries that want it.
On that topic, we have seen this litigated in multiple administrations, the Keystone XL pipeline. And EPA was often, the environmental hazards was often the justification, and usually, or at least in the end, it seemed that was really not a good excuse. It just came down to politics. Would we be in a different place today if the Keystone XL pipeline had been finished and the Biden administration didn't essentially stop it for good?
Yeah, I would just add up all of the different projects that have been slow walked, the plants that were forced to shut down, the regulations that resulted in raising costs. It happened during the Obama administration and continued through the Biden administration. We have been fixing that since we came in here just over a year ago. We are doing more deregulation at EPA in 1 year than has ever been done across all federal agencies of entire presidencies. We're keeping plants online that were slated to close. We've had groundbreaking for new pipelines to deliver supplies. We have seen new small modular reactors, ground being broken for them as well, and so many more projects and investments on the horizon. You add all these projects up together, the United States is obviously going to be stronger for it.
Administrator Molly here. I want to talk to you about, this long and varied career. You've had 22 years of military service. At one point, you were the youngest attorney in New York. When going on to retire as a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve, you deployed to Iraq. Thank you for your service. That's right. As you look forward at next opportunities here, as you have a very busy job, is it possible that you could be the next U.S. Attorney General?
Molly, my focus 100% is on being the best EPA administrator that I possibly can for this president, for this administration, and for this country. It has 100% of my focus. I'm sure that I will be losing sleep tonight thinking about decisions for us to make when I get to the office the next day. We have been able to record a lot of wins. I would just say that what should not be lost in this conversation that we're having is the best announcement that we have made on the one-year anniversary of President Trump's term in office. We released a list of our top 500 environmental wins from that first year. That is where my focus is on right now, to be the best possible job I can do the best possible job I can for Americans as EPA administrator.
But do you think you'd be well qualified, hypothetically, for that position?
You know, that's something for others to be able to judge. You know, for me, just knowing that, you know, we're scoring important wins that were top priorities of Americans who elected President Trump November 24. They put that Trump mandate into office. I want to know that on top of pursuing cleaner, safer, healthier land, air, and water, we're unleashing energy dominance. We're working with states to advance cooperative federalism. We're pursuing permitting reform. We're bringing back American auto jobs. These are the priorities that I feel like I and my team are very qualified to tackle every day.
Okay, so very quickly, we're here in New York, and you, of course, served as a congressman in New York, and you ran for governor and lost a tight race 4 years ago. Kathy Hochul, the incumbent, told you that you were not a real New Yorker, told you to get out of town, move to Florida. People like you don't belong in New York. And now she's begging some of those New Yorkers to come back or send her checks. And if they're thinking about it, they're seeing what the mayor's doing here, you know, antagonizing successful people like Ken Griffin. What do you make of the state of this city and New York more broadly?
It's really bad. I mean, you have people every single day, they're hitting their breaking point and they're fleeing. More people showing up in the Carolinas, Tennessee, Florida, Texas. They know that their money will go further. They will feel safer. They'll live life freer. They're leaving. It's not like they're putting the state in timeout for a few months. Maybe they'll come back if things change. I mean, these people are gone for good. It's happening every single day. These are permanent, devastating policy decisions that are being made that are destroying states, that are really leading in the wrong category. You do not want to lead the country in out-migration. And New York and California have been vying for that title. And you have these other states reaping the benefits for it. And by the way, the people who are fleeing, it's low income, middle income, upper income. People are mobile. It's not that hard to set your life up elsewhere. Your money's going further. Yeah, this is a devastating existential problem for these states with these policies.
Certainly. Well, they're all coming to Tennessee, whether we want them or not, Administrator. Some of them we want, some of them we don't, I'll be honest. But, hey, listen, if they're going to stimulate our economy, I guess we'll take it. Administrator Lee Zeldin, thank you so much for your time tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Joey, I want to pick up where we left off there, maybe with some of this AG discussion.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't been talking about it in the last couple of weeks because we've had no shortage of breaking news. But we haven't heard maybe an official name. We know we got Todd Blanche right now. The president really likes him for obvious reasons. But I kind of like the idea of an AG Lee Zeldin. He seems not only to be qualified, I loved his smirk there, but also very capable and maybe a familiar but fresh face.
Yeah, I think Todd Blanche is that utility guy you want to free up for the next place that you need him. You want to have an AG that's an AG that has the job for good. It's also a job that's really hard to keep under President Trump. So I don't know what Lee Zeldin's his own aspirations are. I think most people, if asked to have that opportunity, would take it. His complete non-answer is an answer in and of itself. It tells me he either wants it and he's waiting to hear, or he's being seriously vetted and he doesn't want to say something that, you know, puts the microscope in the wrong place. So.
Well, Molly, for the time being, he is obviously very focused on his current role. And it's not an easy one right now when you're dealing with oil prices and you're, having to also be brought in on a lot of those conversations. But he is still very much invested in not only protecting the environment, but also deregulating in a safe way so that we can become American energy independent. I think he's done a fantastic job. Do you think he's eased any concerns at home in terms of maybe American oil, energy independence, gas prices?
Well, he's done a great job at balancing competing interests as the leader of the EPA. From the clean energy, has this long history of working towards clean water and clean energy and cleaning things up in the environment, obviously helping lead to the job he has here, but at the same time, rolling back the regulations, keeping the energy sector, creating an energy boom here in America. And he's talking about in the months to come, potentially what that could mean for the overall American economy as the global situations calm down.
Okay, real quick, what's your response?
I just think on the AG point, he didn't want to talk about it, which is fine. We had to ask the question. I think if he does want the gig, not seeming to be campaigning for it at all is probably the right move.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Well, he did a good job, but his face said a lot.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.